Are you ready for the hardest hitting hour in all of sports radio? I'm Henderson. He's Urena. It's time for the CounterPunch. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the CounterPunch. We've got a lot to cover this week with the Spence Porter fight coming up. A little bit of trash talk going on. There's some big news out there, you know, that a lot of the boxing fans are talking about with the Gary Russell Jr. and Leo Santa Cruz incident. We'll get all that covered, like you know. I'm Henderson. He's Urena up in Brooklyn. How you doing tonight, bro?
I'm all right, man. How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing real good, actually. Things are just gelling now. You know, things are gelling. Things are going a lot better. We want to shout out to everybody that's listened from last week. Man, we had a great week for our first week back. Over 4,300 listens. I thought it was almost 4,300. It's actually 4,319 listens. That's playbacks, man. That is astonishing for our first week back. We want to remember where you can catch us. You can always catch us at thegruelingtruth.com and all their platforms, but you can also catch us right here on Anchor and our Spotify channel as well. We will be at the Apple Podcast platform here pretty soon, as well as Google Play. But man, of course we've got to cover, Spence Porter. You know, we've got to talk about that. We've got to talk about Benavidez Jarrell a little bit, I guess, you know, with that fight coming up this weekend. But, man, the hot topic this week, and it's going to cover a lot of our questions, man, is got to be Gary Russell Jr. and Leo Santa Cruz. When you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, this is the most relevant Gary Russell Jr. been in years.
It is, ain't it? And I understand both sides of this, okay? I really do. Do I think it's cool? You know what happened? Nah, probably not. But and he was in a dangerous place. He was out there for the what fight was that? Angulo and Quinlan card. He was out there for it in California.
In Utah.
Was it in Utah?
Wasn't it Utah?
It might have been. I'm not positive, to be honest with you.
Not Utah. I'm sorry, Minnesota.
Was it Minnesota?
Yeah, because it was supposed to be Quinlan versus what's his name, Caleb Truex, and then Truex suffered an injury, so Angulo was the filler.
Yeah, and Angulo pretty much ended Peter Quinlan's career, as far as you know, from what I've heard. But the incident that went on back,
I think Daniel Jacobs did that year.
Yeah, I did too. I think it was just prolonged more than anything.
Yeah.
I think the incident that went on backstage, you know, back in the locker room, whatever you want to call it, is really, it caught storm. Sunday morning was the first time I really noticed it taking off like it did. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's all people talked about. And I know how some people feel. In Lelo's Boxing, which is another media platform, I don't know if they have a website or not, but they're pretty big on Facebook and they're big on Twitter. Talked about, they put a green light on Gary Russell Jr. in California, man. That's a touch much. Okay. But I do understand that how some people think, and some people felt that he threatened Leo's dad. And if you take the words the wrong way, I can see how that was interpreted. I also understand that it was all part of promotion as well, you know. And Leo's dad has since come out and said he didn't even know who the guy was. So I think some people have bloated up a little more than what it should be.
I could see where people are coming from, but it's what fighters do, man. Like this is something you try to talk your way into a fight.
Absolutely, and
I'm not saying that I would go about it that way, but you know, I can understand how people could get upset from seeing it. I saw him catch him flagged over it. I think the next day went on and clarified what he meant. And, he said the same thing that you just said, that it was all just for promotional purposes.
Yeah.
I never for one moment thought that he would do anything to the.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. There was no harm intended toward, Cruz. Senior is his name.
But it was interpreted that way.
Yes, it was.
Like, the way he came across.
Some people.
He meant it. No, I mean, he meant it that way. But once he saw the flag, then he kind of backtracked a little bit. But he only meant it. He only meant it to get the reaction that he got. So everything, really, in all reality, he got what he wanted.
You think?
Because people are calling for the fight now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are they not?
Not
because I haven't discussed this much. So, but they are calling for the fight now. I see more and more people saying that, the fight needs to happen. How it happens, I don't know, because I believe Santa Cruz moved up. So,
yeah, he's supposed to be moving up. What do you want to do? Do you want to jump into our questions? I guess we can start with the questions and we'll finish with the Spence Porter breakdown and stuff.
That's fine.
Because, most of our listeners, they tune in for the questions. And like I said, we want to shout out, man, the 4,300 people. That blew my mind when I checked in this evening. It really did. I knew there was quite a few that would hit the 1,500, 1,600 mark with the Grueling Truth. I knew that it would done, or at least that many people would open the link and stuff. I knew that, you know what I mean? But I did not know that Anchor had the numbers it had and Spotify had the numbers it had. Like I said, man, we appreciate it. We really do. First question off the top is Deshaun Johnson wanting to know about Gary Russell Jr. approaching Santa Cruz's dad. Yeah, we kind of covered that. Chris Walker, which is a long time. We've been talking about this man for a few years now. And he also wants to know about, has he been ducking or is everyone else ducking Gary Russell Jr.? Okay, now, and B. Levity, B, he's actually got a couple of questions, and he said, well, I want to see the proof. Okay, well, guys, this is a pretty well-known thing in the media. Gary Russell Jr., that was a period of about 2.5, 3 years that he just plain simple wasn't going to do the one he had to do. Okay? And a lot of people changed their outlook toward him. I for one, he used to be one of my favorite fighters by far. This was even before he fought Lomachenko, even after he fought Lomachenko. He was one of my favorite fighters in the sport. I believe that he's an ultra skilled fighter. I think he's the cream of the crop at 126. I think he could possibly be the cream of the crop at 130 now. Should he move up? Of course, Tank moved to 135. So I don't know if Russell what he's going to do. I know he wants the Santa Cruz fight, and I completely understand that because it's to be the biggest fight he's had. Wouldn't be the toughest opponent, but it would be the biggest fight he's had by far, in my opinion. Take everything into consideration.
I mean, Lomachenko was going into his second fight. Or was it his second fight?
Third,
right?
Yeah.
Because the second fight was Salido.
Yep.
Was it? Okay. So Lomachenko went into his third fight against him, so that didn't get what he deserved to get. And it didn't really work out for him either. That's a big deal right there too. But I don't know if for a while there his career has been very inconsistent, to say the very least. One fight a year, things like that, man. But I don't know if anybody's ducking him or he's ducking anybody. I just think he feels like, okay, I got to get these fights now before, before time flies by, because it will fly by.
Isn't the thing of ducking, okay? Now, according to Tim Smith, did he say this on record? Not really. Okay, but according to PBC, Russell's been offered this fight a couple times. Now, a lot of it's had to do with timing. It isn't whether Gary Russell ducked him or Santa Cruz ducked him. But from my understanding now, Santa Cruz has been to the point that he didn't even want to be aggravated with Gary Russell. because supposedly the fight had been out there a couple times and it never happened. It just ain't been able to come together for whatever reason that may be. But they'll quickly tell you, you can call the PBC officers today and they'll quickly tell you that ain't nobody ducking Gary Russell Jr. as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Our next question comes from Eric Duran, which is out of Denver, Colorado. If I'm not mistaken, somewhere in Colorado. He wants to talk about the postponement of Wilder Fury 2. Will Wilder fight a tune-up after Ortiz, considering if he wins? No. It's not going to be. It's not something that would be postponed that far.
It'll get pushed back, if anything. Maybe another month, March, maybe.
I'm thinking, end of March tops is as far back as it goes. The cut looks real good from Fury. The stitches have been taken out.
He posted a video on social media.
Yeah.
And he looks to be healing just fine. So.
It sure does. It sure does. And it isn't a matter of the cut healing and it looking okay. The deal is the tissue under it, the soft tissue behind it. You don't, should a cut reopen, you don't want it to be that same gashy cut. He can't deal with that problem against Deontay Wilder, guys. Plain and simple.
Hey, I got a question for Chris Henderson.
What's that, buddy?
What do you think of Derrick James saying that Terrence Crawford?
We got that. That question's coming up. That question.
Oh, my bad.
We got coming up in just a little bit.
I want to hear your take on this.
Cameron Gillen.
Yeah, I just want. I like these questions when you see Chris is very sensitive when it comes to Crawford and Loma.
I'm very sensitive about Crawford now. I'm not as sensitive about Loma. Loma's fans have turned me.
Not anymore. You were tough on him. I think with the Campbell fight. I mean, you were a little tougher on him than I was. So.
Yeah.
That was kind of shocking, but it's just some interesting developments there. I kind of agree with Derrick James.
To a certain extent, I kind of do too.
I can see it if you lay out everything. If you lay everything out, and if you look at like how much they invested in. Well, we'll get to it.
Yeah. Next question is from Cameron Gooding. Cameron Gooding is a big time journalist over in the UK, guys. He writes for Boxing News Magazine, Boxing Monthly. He's wrote for quite a few people. And he's just pretty much talking about the Gary Russell Jr. thing too. It's the biggest story out there other than the fight coming up this week. And it may even be bigger as far as social media clicks. So the next one's from Matthew Brown. He wants to know why is Golovkin still talking about Canelo? Well, because the media asked him.
I mean, you asked a question, but I don't like his answer. Like he's saying, who is this guy? I'm done with them. I don't want to deal with them. Bullshit. If they call, you're fucking running to them.
Here's my okay.
He won't leave that money on the table.
Matthew makes a great point here. He's a guy commented up under his question and said he's not giving Canelo attention. So he said he was being asked about him or did he bring him up, this and that. And Matthew says, ask Bill Belichick about Antonio Brown and see what answer you get. He's exactly right. If you don't want to talk about somebody, like Golovkin says you don't want to talk about him, next question.
You just say next question.
Next question.
But, to me, that's why I told you I don't agree with what he said. Because if Golden Boy call him right now, hey, we want to make this fight, he's not going to leave that money on the table.
Absolutely not. He's not.
I don't care what he tells you. He's a little sour right now because he feels like he's not going to get the fight. And, there's a little rift going on between Oscar and Canelo because Canelo flat out said Oscar doesn't know what he's talking about sometimes. So, Canelo, I think in all reality, like Golovkin went at him in the media, attacked him for a while, and I think he took it personally.
That's exactly what happened.
And now he's like, I'm not giving you another payday. So we'll see how that plays out. That's going to be interesting. I really wanted to see it, and I'm now don't care. After I saw Golovkin versus Rose, I felt like he lost something, and I don't think I need to see it anymore. So, what you got for me, man?
All right, next. is going to be people asking about the possible them moving the Joshua and Ruiz fight. Is that possible? Will it happen? This is B talking about possibly moving away from Saudi Arabia. He's talking about the ongoing issues about security concerns over there. I don't see it moving, B. I don't see it. They're going to do whatever they got to do to secure this 40-something, $50 million. You know what I mean?
Weren't those issues there before it?
Kinda, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, kinda.
They are like on the, they are on some kind of list here in the U.S. where, they don't recommend that you visit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Chris Mealy wants to know about the middleweight division. He says seems like it'll be a pretty weird division for the next few years. What do you guys think? I think the division goes and comes by the way of Canelo Alvarez as far as what do you want to talk about, how hot it is, or what's going on in it. And that's not to sound redundant. It's because everybody seems to keep that generic answer, but it's the truth. He's the face of boxing, guys, plain and simple. And so goes Canelo, so goes the divisions around him. And what I mean by that is the money. The more money in the division, the better the division will look, the more popular it will be. You think I'm joking? Look at the welterweight division. Do you want to talk about what's the most competitive division in boxing? It ain't neither one of them. You know what I mean? It's neither one of them, but that's where the well-known fighters are. That's where the money's at. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how that works. And so goes Canelo Alvarez, so goes the middleweight division. Should he make a decision to stay at 168, which I think is about where he's going to end up settling in, guys, if you want to know the truth about it. He likes this. From everything I'm hearing, him at 175 is going to be a brutal puncher. Going to be a brutal puncher. From everybody that I've talked to, they say his power translates unbelievably well with him not having to cut that weight. That's believable. That's not out of the realm of possibility. He carries a good pop. He carries good pop anyway. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think people realize that Canelo's just short.
He's very short. He's very stocky.
But he's a big boy.
Very big boy. Standing beside him is he's about 2.5, 3 inches shorter than I am, but he's every bit that much more wider than me across his shoulders.
Yeah, like if Canelo didn't train, he'll look like Ruiz.
Good point. Great point.
And I'm serious.
No, you're correct. But to touch on a little bit more, Chris, I want to say this. There's some good talent in the middleweight division right now. I think there's some good fights that could be made. I think with Demetrius Andrade, I don't know where you consider Saunders to be at. I think he's going to stay at 168. I think he likes it there. He don't have any problems cutting weight. I also think he may feel he's the cream of the crop of champions there right now. I think Benavidez has a lot to say about that this weekend, but we'll see,
Yeah. It's a division. I can see why he says it's weird because it's how these fights going to get made, man. So much politics.
Well, it shouldn't be that hard considering every damn body's with DAZN now except Jamal Charlo. Do you know what I mean? You would think it would be simple, but it's not always as simple as what meets the eye. And sometimes it's easy.
Those fighters are going to want their money too, though. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. So, negotiations can be tricky, but you'll see some good fights. Charlo might have to bite the bullet and go over there for a fight.
I'm getting ready to cover that topic, and when we get to the Crawford situation, I'm going to kind of touch on that. Matthew wants to know about the future of Showtime. I think it's getting dark.
Oh, I think I wrote a post about this.
About Showtime?
In the boxing group, yeah. Eddie Hearn made some comments about Showtime, and he felt like they Wilder and
BBC.
While they're fighting on Fox, it's a slap to Showtime, and I was like, well, shit, hell, they just didn't have the budget for the fight, okay, and I feel like maybe after this contract is up with PBC, they might be done.
I 100% agree with you, and I'm not sure we're going to see the end of that.
It's mind-boggling to me that they have like a machine like CBS. I also mentioned this in the post that I put up in the boxing group, but it's mind-boggling to me that they have this machine in CBS. It's a free channel that comes across all of America, right?
Kind of like Fox?
And, right. Yeah, yeah, go figure. But they don't use it.
Hey, you want to hear something else? I'm going to talk about this in just a little bit because there's a question.
I think they used it twice. I think it was Thurman Porter was on CBS.
I think it was Thurman Garcia. It might have been Thurman Porter too. I think actually Thurman's had 2 CBS.
I think both of them. Wasn't it?
I think it might have been. I think because Thurman's actually he's a needle mover for PBC, and he's been a needle mover.
I think if you put anybody on Channel 2 on a Saturday night at 8 p.m. with nothing much going on, it will be a needle mover.
Hey, one time they followed the NCAA tournament. Do you remember that?
That's what I'm saying.
He followed.
You remember when
like the semifinals of the NCAA tournament too, or something like that. I mean, it was something, or it might have been a regular conference tournament, but they followed something that was in a March fight.
I think it was the SEC tournament.
But it's crazy to
you remember years ago when they put NBC puts not NBC but PBC put
Spence behind the U.S. Olympic
right.
Yeah.
Right after the Olympic basketball game. That was genius.
That was great.
That's what if you want to build a brand, you have to give people something to see. A lot of people are not just going to subscribe to your channel because you have boxing. Crazy people like me do that. So you have to get creative in this era. And I feel like they don't do that. So we shall see. I
believe that, as I'm getting ready to touch on this, as somebody brought it up yesterday. I was asked this question yesterday, so it comes to us. What do I think about the job Fox is doing and who deserves the credit? PBC deserves the credit for negotiating this into the deal, guys. Tim Smith, Al Heyman, Sam Watson, the brains behind PBC done one hell of a job with this negotiation with Fox to be able to utilize these platforms. Fox is pushing fights better than anybody in the game right now, and it ain't even remotely close.
Fox is whooping ESPN's butt.
And there's no reason they should.
In promoting with half the money.
So to me, Top Rank dropped the ball here. Not ESPN. Top Rank dropped the ball here because they've got ABC at ESPN, just like Showtime has Fox, CBS. You know what I mean? They've got ABC, and we were led to believe that fights would take place on ABC. Have you seen one yet? No. Okay, I hadn't either. I was just wondering. So I want to give a kudos and a shout out to Tim Smith, to Sam Watson, and to Al Heyman for the deal they put together with Fox, because that was a hell of a deal. And you see a lot of, they're doing a great job here. But, are you there? I may have lost my buddy. May have lost my co-host for a second. But I'm still here. Melissa Massey wants to know about Jamal Charlo and Dennis Hogan. Okay. Now, that fight's supposed to be official anytime now. I think we're going to get an official announcement on that pretty soon. I don't think it's a very great fight. But as we're going to touch on when we get to this Crawford situation right here, I don't think it's a situation that he can do much about. Okay? I don't think it's a situation he can do much about, Massey. So, kind of like Terrence Crawford. And Wilson brought up a few minutes ago, and when he jumps back on, we'll flip back to him. But Wilson brought it up a few minutes ago and asked me what I think about what Derrick James said. Now, I can't go completely against what Derrick James said, and the reason I say that is this. He's somewhat right. Okay? He's somewhat right. Now, I do look at it as an excuse. I do somewhat look at it as an excuse as well. But I don't look at it as a reason not to make the fight type of excuse. Let me paraphrase actually put together what I'm trying to say here. Crawford, is in the same place Charlo is in the middleweight division, where Charlo cannot get a fight without going to the zone. Crawford kind of can't get a fight without going to a PBC platform. All right. Now, I'm hoping that Wilder Fury, that being able to be made, gets us a lot closer to these, to these cross promotional deals, because they can be done. It's just a matter of sitting down at the table and hacking it out. Now, Derek James' statement. Here's what I say about that. And my wholehearted feeling on that is this. Let's talk about this on Tuesday or Wednesday when the numbers come out for this pay-per-view. Because a lot of people believe that Mikey Garcia brought a lot of them fans with him to the first pay-per-view when he done, what did he do, 300 something thousand buys or something like that. So a lot of people believe that. A lot of people inside the industry believe that. We'll know more this weekend, but man, Fox is doing one hell of a job of promoting it. And I think it's going to do a little better than what I initially thought. I thought this thing might do 100 to 150,000. So, but it looks like it may do a few more than that. The CounterPunch is always brought to you by thegruelingtruth.com. Check us out there at any time you like. Go back and check our old episodes out. Anything you want to do is available at thegruelingtruth.com. Don't forget to download their app at the Google Play Store or iTunes as soon as you can. Listen to the podcast anytime, on the go, wherever you may be. This show is also brought to you by Anchor.fm. Their app is also available at the iTunes and Google Play Store. We're back. The Crawford thing. Did you hear what I was saying?
What about it?
Okay.
I heard something.
All right. Here's this. Is Vic, Mark, there's 3 or 4 people want to know about the Crawford situation and the ongoing dodging of Terrence Crawford. Is it dodging? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. Is it ducking? No, it's not. I guess you'd call it business duck at the moment. But now, my answer to your question, Wilson, about Derek James is this. Let's revisit that on Tuesday or Wednesday when we see the numbers for this fight. Okay? Now, because a lot of people believe what happened back in March had a lot to do with Mikey Garcia. You see what I'm saying? So let's revisit that discussion on Wednesday would be my response to him. But is he got a point? Yeah, he's got a point. Absolutely, he has a point right now.
I think the numbers won't matter. I think he'll do better than 150. I don't know if he'll do 3.
Yeah, I don't think it does the 300 plus again like Garcia did, like him and Garcia did.
But at the same time, Fox has thrown a lot of money.
They have. I initially thought this thing would be a 150 or below at best. Now,
but they have pushed the hell out of this fight.
They have pushed the hell out of this fight, man. So I'm going 200 plus now on it.
Yeah, and that's a success these days.
Yeah, that's got to be somewhat of a success. Do I believe now? See, here's my problem goes deeper with this than what Derek James said. I think that for this fight to happen, it's going to be co-produced, right? It's going to be ESPN pay-per-view as well as Fox or Showtime or Fox Showtime, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? But I think Fox has to look at ESPN and go, hey, buddy, you going to put the money into this that we put into fights? Do you see what I'm saying? And ESPN they got to step up or step out, one or the other, and let Fox have the fight. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I feel like this, like I said, my response to Derek James would have been that. Let's talk about this on Wednesday, see what kind of numbers he really does. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But I do see where he's coming from completely.
He wasn't wrong.
No, he wasn't really wrong. But I don't know. They're trying to give away tickets out there in LA right now, though. As far as that goes, they're doing comps now already for that fight.
Yeah, but
whereas if that was they'd had that fight in LA, it packed Staples Center out within a couple hours because that's where he's from. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the same time, what I'm trying to say is whether this fight does whatever it does, it doesn't matter because he's still right.
And what?
Derek James was saying that he's the 4th push fighter on Top Rank, on ESPN Top Rank. So in other words, before they push him, they put more.
You're talking about that part of the question? I think he is. Yeah. I think he is definitely the 3rd. I don't think.
And he could.
I don't think Ramirez has pushed more than him. I think that's a crock of shit.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Ramirez did get more money.
You know what I mean?
Ramirez did get more money, but that's more with the zone. But I agree wholeheartedly with him. They haven't pushed Terrence Crawford to the point to the way PBC has pushed Spence.
Hell no. But they haven't pushed anybody to that point. Spence they've gotten behind Spence more than anybody, more than any fighter out there right now. I'd say he's the best promoted fighter from his brand there is.
You know, and
I think Crawford's about to at least move back to second go because Fury just keeps having flop after flop here in America. Now, of course, you'll have what happens between him and Wilder. I think that if I'm PBC, I'm not trying to be a funny guy or an asshole about it, but I think we got to revisit this negotiation now. All right, it's not 50-50 no more, pal, because this guy can barely put 3,500 in the MGM Grand. You know what I mean? Or I think he did 5,000 MGM Grand this past weekend at T-Mobile. He had 3,800 paying customers. They did 3,500 in comps or some shit. That's astronomical.
I believe it was 6,000 the first time around, but that's still low.
Yeah, that's insanity. But now, I will say this, the tickets have been priced pretty high. I don't know why they feel like.
Boxing fights are generally pretty expensive tickets.
Well, right now,
you know,
I'm going to say this, and this is something that I may get shouted at.
Where is
shout at me over this? But you show me a fight that don't have the name Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez attached, or Gennady Golovkin in New York for some damn reason. He sells out. But you show me one of them four guys right there, and I'm going to show you that don't have one of them guys, I'm going to show you comp tickets on Saturday night. I'm going to show them to you. I'm going to prove it to you because that's the way it works, guys.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. I can get to the Spence Porter fight if I'm in LA right now. I can get in for free. It's comp. Right now, it's being comp. All right, so you take me back, I can take you to any fight and it does that. All of them do that. Now, they don't do it so much in the UK, but in America, they do it. Why do they do it, you ask? Well, think about this. When ESPN was carrying down through there last week, or 2 weeks ago for the Fury fight, the damn crowd looked pretty good in there. All right? The crowd looked pretty good. How does it look when it's half empty, though? Do you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of these fights. Like I said, if you show me a fight that don't have the name Mayweather, Pacquiao, Alvarez, or for some reason, like I said, Golovkin in New York, he does crazy numbers up there. You show me you show me that, and I'm going to show you a fight that's got free tickets.
Well, it's out in LA. That's why you have to throw Ibn Benavides on the card. You know what I'm saying?
You got to have
in a perfect world, you want to throw in like a Leo or a Myers in there or something like that.
Cruz, guys. He does numbers in LA. And I heard, that's been part of the problem with the Russell and Santa Cruz negotiations back when they were going on, I want to say middle of last year, was this, that where's it going to happen? Well, Gary Russell has no leg to stand on in that situation. None. That fight's got to take place in LA. Al Heyman will quickly tell him that fight's going to take place in LA if it's going to happen. Shit like that. You know what I mean? Because that's where the guarantee to get the money from. But as far as Russell's point, yeah, I do kind of understand it. Not Russell, but Derek James' point. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I do kind of understand it, and I can't really argue against it a whole lot. But like I said, let's revisit that on Wednesday. Let's see what kind of numbers he does. Let's see what the live gate is. I know Terrence Crawford's doing better live gates in Omaha than Tyson Fury did in Vegas. What does that tell you?
Yeah. That's
ridiculous. All right, now, do I agree with him? He is definitely the third most pushed fighter. But as far as the financial part of it goes, he's getting more money than anybody but Fury. You know what I mean? And I can understand Fury getting more because that's where the sport resonates at. Fury's just never, I think Bob Arum made a big mistake here in this deal because Fury, the heavyweight division is power, guys. And that's the way the casual fan looks at it. They tune into that to see big knockouts. Well, that's not Tyson Fury. That's just not who he is. Plain and simple. But yes, I do think they're dodging Crawford, and it's a matter of risk and reward right now. What's the reward worth for going to get that WBO belt? Not a whole lot.
Well,
to be honest, other than have you named Green Maxine as maybe the number 1, 2, or 3 pound for pound guy in the world. Now it's going to.
I mean, even before you get to all of that, what platform you gonna have?
I might split that, just like they're doing Fury Wilder.
Well,
that's what I said. That's what I said.
That's gonna be something. I never seen ESPN and Fox work together before, so
they never had to. But this is they're fairly new, but they have done conjoined stuff with the UFC and stuff. All right, so they're not strangers to each other. You know what I'm saying? A lot as you flipped over from Fox to ESPN, there was a couple of things that. So I mean, they have been. They're not complete strangers to each other. So they kind of are familiar, you know. So that won't be that good. First off, they're both fairly new into boxing. They're both, you know, just material. All right, now I'm not talking about FS1 or I'm talking about ESPN Friday Night Fights before. I'm talking about this new venture. They're both pretty new. ESPN has one pay-per-view. Fox is cranking them out. I'm not going to get into that. Somebody asked me right here, what do I think about so much for free boxing, huh? We're not going to go into that negativity shit, guys. Yeah, are they throwing a lot of pay-per-views out there? Yeah, they are. But do I believe every fight should be pay-per-view? No, I don't. I think your 2 Pacquiao fights, I want to say probably Spence Garcia has really been about the only thing I've seen that was pay-per-view worthy this year, if that. But Spence Garcia probably shouldn't be pay-per-view either. I actually think this fight should be more pay-per-view worthy than Spence Garcia was, honestly, because it's a fight it's a better fight, for crying out loud. And at least to the, from the outside, it is. And you're facing, it's a unification fight for one. It's got a guy, you know, both guys have been fighting in the same division for quite some time. And as far as the Dodge and Crawford, I think it's something that's going to go on until.
I don't know what he's talking about. Boxing is always free.
We can't say that. Scratch! But yeah, now, Mark, you call it the Crawford problem. It ain't just a Crawford problem. That's what I was talking about a minute ago. It's a Jamal Charlo problem too, guys.
Yeah.
It's a Jamal Charlo problem too. Now,
well, you could pick out several guys that will have this issue.
But these
across several platforms.
Biggest names, all right, with major issues, all right, and it's a Jamal Charlo problem, and it's a Terrence Crawford problem. It's Charlo's getting froze out at middleweight, Crawford's getting froze out at welterweight. It just so happens those are the 2 biggest money divisions in sport right now, outside of heavyweight with Joshua.
It's good to be Al Heyman, huh?
Are you ever?
Well, you can. Yeah, can you hear me? It's good to be Al Heyman, where you have all these fighters that you could put them like a Spence Porter fight. That's a quality fight to watch. And you know, you got Thurman Pacquiao. That's another quality fight to watch. Let's say Wilder beats Fury, and let's say Ortiz beats Joshua. I mean, it can't get any better than to be PBC is in a good place right now, to be honest with you.
Anybody with Fox seems to be in a good place. Yeah, I hear you. Anybody with Fox seems to be in a good place right now.
Fox is doing. I'm really appreciating how much they're pushing these fights, man. Like
the only platform that I give that I don't think should be dead equal with Fox is the Zone. All right, because I understand that they have to buy their promotion, they have to pay additional. But when you're ESPN and ABC, there is no excuse to this. None. You are the worldwide leader in sports, and it ain't even close. All right, Fox Sports 1 can't hold their jockstrap in a brief in a suitcase, guys, and that's the reality of the situation. And you can't do no better job of promoting fights than what they're doing.
The Zone might be in a better place than ESPN, right?
I can't argue against that. Now, the Zone has still got the subscriber issue and all this and that. And ESPN, the Zone has a more popular app. What does that tell you? They do.
That's what I'm saying.
It's ridiculous. Whenever ESPN Plus.
In my opinion, in my opinion, ESPN was hoping that they could put their boxing on ESPN Plus, and
it's not doing as well at all. Part
that's
of
what
the problem is this is it's convoluted when you go over to ESPN Plus. Whenever the top ranked card 6 scrolls down, you know what I mean? That's part of the problem. You go to the zone and that boxing card is at the top. You see what I'm saying? It's little things like this that make a difference.
Well, hell,
soccer games.
When you turn on the app, if you have a smart TV, I don't know. I have a smart TV, so I just have to hit a couple buttons and I'm there. As soon as the app comes on, the fight it's already on. You don't even have to hit play. If you actually turn the fight on and you go get a drink, by the time you come back, it'll be the fight will be completely on your screen. So ESPN Plus has a lot of other things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's college football,
sure.
I think they had college baseball. They do 30 for 30s, all kinds of stuff. So it's more of a
sports friendly app.
Yeah, right. But it's how can I put it? Like when I do go on it, because I have it obviously. It's always if it's a live event, it's always at the top. Now when it's not live anymore, then you have to scroll sometimes for a little while to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? So it is what it is. What we got next, man?
All right. Jake Hall asked this. He says, I think some questions. Jake, want to shout out to you, buddy. You've been one of our top fans on the page for quite some time. He shares a lot of our stuff. Every time I look around, he's got something shared of ours. I think some questions need to be asked about this WBC clean boxing program and how often it is testing boxing. There is no regulations to that, Jake. There's programs like, for instance, Spence and Porter right now. Last I checked, they haven't been tested at all. Okay, now the WBC title's on the line. Yeah, they haven't been tested at all. Now tell me how that works. Now I do understand. Yeah, there's questions that need to be asked about it, Jake. I told you, but we ain't in the position to ask some questions.
Well, I think Paulie Malignaggi, did you see that statement that he made?
Oh yeah, he talked about he was tested time in a year.
Yeah, he said he did a year. He the first time he 7 months into him or something. So
yeah,
I mean, it's not a perfect program by any means. They could actually improve on it, but.
All right, guys, we're back. This question comes from Lyman Pauly, former fighter. He wants to know if there's any Dana White news coming in October with this venture into boxing. Nothing definitive, Lyman, that I know of. Have you heard anything, Wilson?
No, I haven't heard anything yet. I was still thinking about the Jake Hall question about the clean program for the WBC. And like I was telling you, I think the money comes out of the fighter's pocket. So that's probably not the perfect system, but I don't think you could have a perfect system in boxing because there's no governing body.
Totally agree.
You know,
totally agree with you, bro.
That's the biggest issue.
Absolutely. If you don't have one governing body, one overseer of everything, then there's nobody to make a final ruling. There's nobody to stipulate. I mean, any stipulations or any requirements are only going to be so good.
Exactly. So, yeah, but nothing on the. I haven't heard anything yet. So on the last question, so I don't know what's going on there. What we got next?
All right, last is we got one more question after this. But Omi Medina wants to know, there was a big deal went down earlier this morning. I don't know if everybody's heard about it or not, but Everlast has made the first transgender boxer the face of the brand. All right. I'm trying to think of the name, Paulina. Something Marino or something like that is the name.
I heard.
Do what now?
I heard, but don't ask me the name. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about it. I don't want to say, you know, and there's a good chance Everlast could be one of our sponsors pretty soon. So
I mean, I don't care, but
I don't either. It doesn't
it's their
really.
prerogative.
Absolutely.
I'm not even going to go down the road of, anything else outside of that. I'm just not. It is what it is. People want to do what they want to do. Let them be who they want to be. And we'll see what's going to happen, what comes of this.
Okay. Then Matthew wants to know about the altercation between James and Porter. I think he's talking about Derek James. There's nothing, I haven't heard much more on it. I just heard something, a little bit about it. So Matthew, I would be speculating if I was to give you an answer on that right now.
What, Derek James?
Mm-hmm.
And Sean Porter, or Derek James and Kenny Porter?
Kenny Porter. See, that's what I'm not positive about yet. I haven't had time to. I just heard about it right before we come on air, actually, and never had a chance to get a call into anybody to find out for sure what's going on out there. I've got a few people that's out there that, it's like covering all the media events and stuff out there that I could have talked to, but I haven't been able to get a response on that. As soon as I find out something, I'll post it or whatever and let it, it'll either be on our page or somewhere.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Simple.
All right. That leads us with this, guys. The big fight, I believe it comes down to this. I believe it comes down to the success of Earl Spence's jab. And I think it's going to be extremely successful. I really do. I think for Sean Porter to have any success, he's going to have to be able to get inside and make this a grudge fight. And I don't believe that he's able to continuously get past that jab for 12 rounds. I don't believe he's able to continuously get past it.
And even if he did, he's never had somebody that goes to the body like Errol Spence before.
Spence, no, he hasn't.
So be careful what you ask for. You might just get it, even though he's a dog in there. But to me,
Sean Porter is a hell of a dog in there.
Yeah.
Biggest dogs in the sport, as far as that goes. So I think he could have some success in there for sure. But he's never been a great, one thing I think that Terrence Crawford excels at over just about anybody in the sport outside of maybe Canelo Alvarez is his ability to punch between his opponent's punches. And that is crucial. Porter's not very good at that. All right.
He's just not.
He's just not. It's just not something he's good at. We had an argument yesterday in one of the groups about Cotto and Porter, and there was a question come up, and there's levels, guys, and Porter's not at that level. You see what I'm saying? I know you do because you kind of laughed it off, but
I mean, Sean Porter is keep hearing people use the word elite a lot. Had somebody say that to me today, and I'm sorry, I just don't look at Sean Porter like an elite fighter.
I don't either. I think he's a very good fighter.
And I think he'll give anybody on any given night a run for their money. I think he'll give them hell if he could for 12 rounds, whether it means headbutts, elbows, whatever he means, what by any means necessary. But there's something that's got to be said for a guy that's, has gotten big fights and has come up short more often than not.
Totally agree.
He's just one of those guys. He's going to be one of those guys when he gets older and we have like a young and up and coming fighter, and like if let's say he's still fighting, they're going to throw him at him and he's going to give that young and up and coming fighter hell. So
that's I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that assessment completely.
But
he is, guys, at the end of the day, he's 4-2 in world title fights, and he could be 3-3. There's a strong argument that against him losing the Ugas fight, but there's also an argument for him maybe pulling out the Thurman fight, so at 4-2 in world title fights, that's great. That's good. That makes him a 2-time champion in the welterweight division. But so is Andre Berto. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so is Andre Berto. And there's a difference between good, great, and elite. And there's 2 elite guys in this division, in my opinion, and one's named Earl Spence and the other one's named Terrence Crawford.
And there's a legend in it too, but I don't think he's at an elite level anymore. But he's still still.
I think
great.
when it's all said and done, the greatest fight in the division right now is Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, when it's all said and done. But you got to look at it like this. Manny Pacquiao's also closing the door on 40 years.
What I'm talking about. He's on his way. He's not at his peak. He's on his way down that mountain.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
So, Danny Garcia was a nice win. But it's, I don't know, man, how to judge Danny Garcia as a welterweight, man.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I look at Danny, and if you really want to get technical, a lot of his names on that resume come from 140.
All of them, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Salka just doesn't do it for me. I know you have him on your pound for pound list, but Ralph Salka,
biggest jerks in the sport, absolutely.
So, to me, the fight is going to go the way Errol Spence's jab goes.
100%. That's the way the fight goes. It goes the way Spence's jab goes. And I think that table setter he uses is pretty damn good. I don't see nobody in the division being able to solve that puzzle other than maybe Terrence Crawford. And that's because of his ability to switch stances, which can negate a jab. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason that I feel that it's the biggest reason I feel that he's the only guy in the division that's got the answer to Earl Spence. I don't think we did have one more question, and it was from Chris Walker. He wanted to know who is Manny Pacquiao fighting next. I think it's going to be one of the Garcias. I don't foresee him fighting Earl Spence Jr. I think
that's going to be late on.
Yeah, but I just don't see him fighting Earl Spence Jr. And I won't blame him a whole lot, not at 41 years old, because Spence is a guy that can get in and hurt you. He can hurt you. All right. So if I was him, I avoid Crawford and I avoid Spence for sure because.
Well, he already avoided Crawford.
Yeah, he's already run from Crawford, and he did a great job of that. And I would try to do the same thing. He's only got one more fight left on his PBC deal, guys. So, and from talking to Sean Gibbons, he's going to try to. He says they're on Mayweather time. So that ought to tell you all you need to know about who Manny Pacquiao is probably fighting next, right there.
Yeah.
So Gibbons' words to me was this: they're on Mayweather time, and Mayweather is always the preferred option, but the front runners other than him right now are Mikey and Danny Garcia.
Yeah. I don't like it, but okay.
I totally agree with you, bro. But I understand.
You have a belt?
You should ought to be able to defend it. You ought to be able to enter.
You have a chance to unify, man. So
absolutely.
Why not? It is.
But I do understand.
I get it.
At 41 years old, I get it. You know what I mean? I instead of saying I understand it, I get it. How about that?
Yeah, I get it.
All right. And that leads us to Benavidez and Durrell. I don't see if 80% of David Benavidez shows up. I don't see how Durrell wins this fight. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Not at this juncture in Durrell's career.
Exactly. And if Benavidez is the guy that I think he's capable of being, I'm not sure that Durrell ever was the fighter that this kid is capable of being. The kid's got all the tools it takes to get there. I just don't know if he'll ever be able to put them all in the toolbox at the same time. You know what I mean?
Right. He still got time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's still very young. Yeah, he's got a lot of time. What is he?
24.
I mean, he's in his younger 20s. I know that. And we did a show about 2 or 3 years ago and talked about him being the talent of the 168-pound division. Like I said, that was 2 or 3 years ago at least. And I agreed with that 100%. Now, I don't know that if Billy J. Saunders stays in the division, if he's still the talent of the division. Saunders is a very talented fighter. Yes, extremely talented.
Yes, he is.
Extremely talented. But I think if he's a focused fighter, he's hell to play with. He's hell to deal with.
There's another Calvin Smith.
Calvin Smith, yeah, but he to borrow a phrase from our UK buddy, compatriot out there, Aaron, he's a paint by numbers type fighter. Callum Smith is, to a certain extent. It's work off the jab and everything, whereas guys like Billy Joe Saunders, guys like Demetrius Andrade even, is guys that is going to make you adapt and adjust. They're going to make you adjust somewhat. They're going to make the best fighters adjust. They're going to make the Canelo. Yeah, they're going to make the Canelo Alvarez's, the Gennady Golovkins. They're going to make those guys adjust. So they're damn sure going to make a Callum Smith adjust, and I'm not sure how far he can adjust yet. You see what I'm saying? And
I'm guessing we'll find out sooner than later.
I'm guessing so. I think Saunders will return to the ring on November the 9th, but I'm going to figure it's probably going to be against somebody in the top 15 of the WBO. Ain't that where he's the champion at? So it'll be somebody in the top 15 of the 168
might be Rosado.
Who's that?
They were talking about Gabriel Rosado.
Oh, Gabe Rosado?
Yeah.
Damn, is he in the top 15 of any? I mean, how the hell could he possibly still be top 15?
I don't know. you know me, man.
You talk about,
you know me. I don't even look at rankings. You know how I feel about them. So.
Yeah, I don't. Especially sanctioned body rankings, they're bought and paid for to most
especially
of them.
The WBO.
Yeah, they're bought and paid for. Most of your rankings are bought and paid for. And that's just it at the end of the day. And every sanctioning body has a preferred promoter or somebody they deal with. And if they can continue to deal with them, that's what they prefer to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. We're getting close to the end here, I think.
Yeah.
I want to shout out to our sponsors. That's thegruelingtruth.com, and you can always catch us there. All the replays are available at thegruelingtruth.com. They also have an app if you want to download their app, and you can play all their podcasts. I mean, this show's got hundreds and hundreds of – they've got – I don't know how many ongoing podcasts now, but if you name the sport, they got a podcast for it. I guarantee you. And you can listen to us on their app. You can listen to us on the Anchor app. You can listen to us at Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, CastBox, Podbean. There's all kind of places. Buzzsprout, I think we just got approved for. So there's all kind of places that it's coming. And we could be changing platforms again pretty soon. I know we will be changing platforms here within the next 4 to 5 weeks, like with 100% certainty, but we could be changing a little bit sooner than that, as we've had a few technical issues this evening.
Yeah, we'll probably, if we don't change platforms and everything gets smoothed out, then we'll probably do something with YouTube too. So
yeah, absolutely.
We have plenty of room to give you a podcast on this platform and give you something else on another platform. So we'll figure it out as we go along.
Absolutely. Now I am thinking about integrating some like news, like little 15-minute shows here and there on this platform as well. We'll see. You know, whether it be it'll always probably be boxing. I may do some UFC something or maybe some college football. I'm allowed to talk about college football again on air once again. So my contract has been over for over a year now. It actually ended last October, but according to the release, I was able to do so like the middle of this month, this September. So,
well,
so there could be some of that too here and there. I'm just trying to get as much up there as we can right now.
We'll figure it out as we go along, and you guys are going to figure it out with us. And we appreciate the support. You got anything else, Chris?
Nah, I'm gonna let you close it out like always,
Hey,
man.
all right, folks. Well, it's us. We'll be back again next Thursday. Thank you so much. We out.